Hi everyone, and welcome to my second intensity-based workout. And yes, today was an interesting day, and for the most part it went well. I had a few hiccups here and there, but overall it was a good learning experience, and I will get stronger from this workout. I stimulated the majority of the muscles in my body, and tomorrow I actually probably will have the energy to do some other things. I put up a poll a couple of days ago in which I wrote, should I start training calves? And the majority answered yes. That was pretty much what I expected. And I had fully mentally prepared to not start training calves if the majority answered no. Like, I'm not even joking. I was like, fuck it. If the majority of my audience, which obviously a very small minority of my audience will even see or answer that poll, but the serious ones, if they actually answer that I don't have to train calves, then fuck it. I'm not going to train calves. But unfortunately, you guys, you're on my ass and you want me to improve, unfortunately, and you told me, hey motherfucker, you gotta train your fucking calves, basically, through the poll. So now I'm grumpy with you guys about that, but I think I'll forgive you once I start making progress on them. However, I do believe it's going to be difficult. Just like doing bicep curls isn't going to make your arms completely explode. It's going to be a very slow process. I believe the same is true for calves. I don't know how genetic they are, but what I do know is that I have fairly regular sized calves for a guy my height and my weight. They aren't absolutely tiny, but compared to my upper legs, they are significantly smaller. Now, I don't really know how I'm going to train them. I do believe I'm going to do some form of seated calf raises because I don't have the balance to do standing calf raises with good range of motion and with heavy weights without falling over, basically. So seated calf raises will probably be the way I'll do it. I'll probably put a mat on my knees, probably put a barbell over there somehow, and see if I can work my way up with the calves. And it's unfortunate that I have to train calves. I'm not looking forward to it. But, once I get into it, I think I'll start liking it. And maybe, just maybe, by the end of this year, my calves won't look as undersized. Although I'm not that insecure about my calves. I mean, I train in shorts in these videos. And in this particular case, I had socks on for like the first half of the workout. But you guys have seen my calves, and I'm not that worried about them, and that I'm not training them out of me feeling like they are, that they look stupid on me or anything, and I'm not going to train them out of desperation, and I'm not going to absolutely destroy them because I'm scared of the way they look. But I do think that I need more calf muscle, and I'm interested to see how it will affect my athletic performance. And if I can make really good progress on my calves, I mean, it would look awesome to have fucking gigantic calves. If I have the potential for that, it would look pretty fucking badass. But I'm just trying to get across the point that I'm not that worried about the way my calves look right now, if that makes sense. So let's talk about what happened the rest of the workout and not what I'm going to do in the future. So basically I opened up, like you guys saw, squatted 125, which is... it wasn't a max, but so that means that my squat is pretty close to my best squat ever, which is 132.5. That doesn't mean a lot, but it does mean that getting to 140, which is my short to mid-term goal, is a lot more doable. And what I did today to work towards reaching that goal was doing deadlifts and squats, and apart from the backgrounding on these, the speed is okay, and I'm standing up all the way, and that is around 90% of my 1 rep max that I was doing for 1 set of 2 and then 2 sets of 1 on the deadlift. So next week I'm going to do 2 sets of 2 and then 1 set of 1, so 2 sets of 2 in a single basically, and I'm going to work towards trying to really tighten up that technique, although it's very difficult to do that while you're adding reps and while it's getting more difficult. We'll see if I can do it or not. and onto the squats. So this was the hardest part of today's workout by far. Well, actually not by far, it was narrowly followed by the overhead press. But this was the psychologically hardest part. Doing 5 sets of 2 with 112, 112 and a half really, is really difficult for me, because last week I did 5 sets of 1 with 112 again, and that was hard, that was heavy. And on the 4th and 5th set, I was scared that I might fail it. So doing 5 sets of 2 here today showed, at least to me, that my strength has clearly progressed on this lift, and I will slowly work towards 5 sets of 3, 5 sets of 4, and 5 sets of 5. Once I reach 5 sets of 5 on these squats, as well as reaching heavier numbers for my 10 sets of 10 squats, which I do on the other day, on the volume day, and working on my deadlift and working on heavy squats every now and then for singles every other week, I do think that it won't be that long until I squat 140, but it won't be easy. It will require many more very difficult sessions, but I don't believe it will take me many months. I believe it will take me a couple of weeks. When I say a couple, I haven't done the math on it yet. I would say 5 to 10 weeks probably is what it's going to take me to squat 140. I do believe that the 2-month time frame does feel somewhat doable. I'm just going to work towards it day by day. Stay very disciplined with having very difficult sessions. Keeping my squat sessions difficult, working my deadlift as well, hitting my legs with a variety of different rep ranges on squats, and slowly building up the volume, slowly shortening the rest intervals, which is what I will do slightly later once I get used to this volume. And that will probably result in me being able to squat 140. It won't be without paying the price for it though, and that price is putting in heavy, hard work, doing serious amounts of volume, and suffering. Especially on my 10 sets of 10 squats, which I don't know where I need to build them up to get my squat to 140, but I would probably think somewhere in the range of 70 kilos or so. I need to do that for a proper 10 sets of 10 with somewhat halfway decent rest intervals that aren't super long. Then I'll probably be able to squat 140. But it won't only be that. I'll also be working on getting this to 5 sets of 5, and I'll also be working on getting my deadlift up. Because at my current deadlift level, squatting 140 is not a wise thing to build up to. I need to increase my hamstring and my glute, and especially my lower back and hamstring strength. I said hamstring twice, I'm aware of that, but I mixed it up by saying glute in the middle of that. Really, it's the hamstrings and the lower back that need to strengthen significantly to make sure that my squat training will be injury free, and that my heavy squat will be not smooth sailing, but it will be a correct, good squat, and I won't hurt myself, because 140 is very heavy. Psychologically, it feels like a really huge jump from 132 and a half, and I know that that isn't a lot of progress to be made, but I'm not really at 132 yet. But even the jump from 132 and a half to 140 feels really big, and I'm not even at 132 yet. And 7.5 kilos on a squat isn't a lot. It's actually quite a modest little jump. But for me, it feels intimidating, it feels scary, and it feels big. Squatting 140 would make me really fucking happy with myself temporarily, until I realize that I'm still not strong, and I will have to make more progress. But yeah, the squats today were by far the most physically challenging, or rather psychologically challenging, part of this workout. And I posted a community post as well today during the workout, about these 5 sets of 2, working fairly high sets of very heavy weights, and it does feel like it generates some form of interesting fatigue. I said interesting because I'm not used to it. It isn't the same fatigue that I have on Bulgarian, where I do a single extremely heavy rep every day for months on end, and I build a high level of fatigue while building strength. That's kind of a weird situation, but it's like a chronic level of low, slight, dull fatigue. This isn't really the same thing. It's like a slightly more acute version, slightly more, current and close to me chronologically version of that Bulgarian long fatigue. It's very difficult to explain. But I'm still doing such low reps on the squats so that I don't build that lactic acid kind of fatigue in the legs by doing them. But my muscles get tired because I'm doing very heavy reps. Okay, this is something interesting. Today I tried incline for the first time in a very long time, and I did a true 1 rep max on it. So as you can see there, 80 went fairly good, so I decided that 85 was a good jump, and that would be 5 kilos under what I did for the regular bench last week, and it would be no problem at all. I was wrong. I put in a lot of effort, and I got the bar pretty far off my chest, but I hit some form of sticking point. I don't know if it's my upper chest, if it's my front delt, or if it's my triceps that are the weak link. I actually don't know, unfortunately. But that's just the truth. I don't know. I am unaware. But I will be working on my overhead press a bit, and I will be working on my bench press a lot, and I will max out on this within a couple of weeks, but not now. Maybe in 3 or 4 weeks, I will hit a 1 rep max on this lift again and see how far I have progressed. I'm not promising anything at all, because I have plans for other things. I can't plan every lift all the time since I'm going to rotate. But as you can see here, I believe I got it up to like where my upper arm was. Do you say perpendicular or do you say parallel? Probably parallel. Was parallel to the floor. And that's the same place that I stick on the bench press. That's the same place I stuck, rather, on the bench press when my chest was weak. This may be an upper chest weakness. I'm not sure, and it could be a tricep, and it could be a shoulder. Maybe you guys that are familiar with this lift can watch this lift right here, because I barely got it, and try to figure that out by looking at the bar speed. But I will be skeptical of you guys, as always, because I don't know you. But if you want to give an opinion on something this workout, I'd love to see an opinion on this lift right here, and which muscle may be weak, because I'm thinking that maybe all 3 may be weak. I'll stick about there, and I'm wondering what that means. So if anyone knows what that means, comment down below. Feel free to give your opinion, as long as you don't do it in a very rude way, which I don't believe you will. Because haters don't usually watch this many minutes of a video of a guy that they hate making progress and being happy. So, yeah. I also did 5 sets of 2 on the bench press with 80 kilos after that. And last week I did 5 sets of 1, and that felt kind of silly. But doing 5 sets of 2 did not feel silly. It felt like good, solid work. And I'll slowly build this up to 5 sets of 3. I don't know if I can do that immediately next week. It may take 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, these were really hard, especially on the first and second set. After doing incline, it felt off and weird, although it looked kind of normal. I felt like I was getting more fatigued, but I was getting into my groove later on during these sets. But my triceps did feel fatigued. I did note that, and I didn't know if my upper chest was fatigued or not. I couldn't really feel or detect any upper chest fatigue, because I don't know how that feels on the bench to have upper chest fatigue, but I can imagine that my upper chest was fatigued on these reps. Next week I'm probably going to max out on a pull-up or a chin-up or something along those lines, and not max out on a bench press. So that will probably give me a nice opportunity to do these 5 sets of 3, or just do a couple sets of 3 and then a couple sets of 2, but at least make some progress on this lift, because doing the incline bench first took some wind out of my sails. although not a lot. But failing a lift and then barely getting one isn't like super ideal. Although it won't really affect my strength that much since I'm doing multiple sets here. I'm not just doing one set, and it's not like really, really, really close to my max, but it is, you know, within 10 or 12 kilos of my max, and at this point in the workout, it's probably within 7 kilos of my max, 8 kilos, 9 kilos of my max after that fatigue. So yeah. I'm probably going to get off here, guys. I'm probably going to turn this voiceover off because I don't want to speak over the entire thing. I want these videos to be somewhat quality and not just pure quantity, since these are very, very long. I just have a couple more things to note, which was that I failed the overhead press today. I was going to do 3 sets of 10, I couldn't, and I do believe that that is from the fatigue after doing this, both the incline and the bench, and I will sort it out. And the pull-ups went well. I got 15 pull-ups, and I did 3 sets of 10 inverted rows for the first time with good form. So yes, that was today's workout. Thank you guys for watching. I would recommend you to click off fairly soon, as it's just going to be a completely silent video. But if you want to see what I did, and if you don't believe me in what I just told you, then feel free to watch the rest of it. And I will see you guys on Thursday, most likely. Goodbye. Thank you for watching.